What is up, YouTube? I'm back. It's me, James, and we're back for another Windraiser episode. We're here and doing a draft analysis. So, as you guys already know, I already dropped my first team builder. This episode was supposed to go before, but unfortunately, we had some very unfortunate technical difficulties, and this video is actually going to be coming up after. So we're going to be doing this draft analysis videos for you guys because it was requested for some people in the NCL, and for those who are not in the NCL and watching, you guys can kind of get a little bit of a feel for what teams are and what the NCL is like. So I'm joined today by a very, 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 very special guest who's already popped his mic twice, MysteryCD.
Yep. Apologies. What the fuck is up, party people? My name is Mystery, and yeah, my mic, I forgot to put the little cap on it, so yeah, we're good now.
It's fine. It's all good. But I'm really excited to have Mystery here. He won't be joining us for our team builders, big on for it, but we do have him for probably a couple more draft analysis videos that we might do later in the season. So very excited to have him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of technical difficulties and me doing this twice already, me and Mystery have already talked a lot about these teams, so we're kind of burnt out. We're gonna give you guys kind of like quick overviews. We're not gonna spend way too much time on this. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on my team just because it's my channel and you guys will be learning my team and kind of what my ideas and stuff were about it. This is post-draft, post-week one. Most people haven't played their week one. There's only been 2 matches, but we're just going to kind of go off of that, how it is right now. If you're in the NCL, you understand what's happening. If you're not, I apologize. You'll kind of get the gist later on. You're not going to really see everybody else's battles anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, we're going to kind of go off of that. So starting off, we are starting off with our own MysteryCD with the Las Vegas Cinderaces, and probably one of the best teams in the league. He's starting out with Mega Mawile, Lando T, Tapu Fini, Rotom Heat, Greninja, Necrozma, Chestnut, Cobalion, Noivern, Munchlax, and Mischievous. And I'm gonna let Mystery talk a little bit about this. I'll say a couple things, and then we're just gonna move on.
Yeah, so I mean, I got pretty lucky. Got the number 1 overall pick when I was projected at number 9, I believe, either 9 or 8, somewhere around there. And I gotta say, yeah, I mean, I really wanted Mawile, but I was really afraid it wouldn't fall to me, and then I ended up getting the number 1 pick, so poggers. My plan with the team once I got Mawile was surround it with things that can absorb status and really good pivots, and I think I did a really good job at that. Humble brag and all. For Willow absorbing, I have Vini and Rotom Heat, and then just amazing pivots in Greninja, Rotom, Noivern, Cobalion, and then good spikers was another thing I really wanted to look into, and I got Gren and Chestnut. And like I said previously, you suggested Chestnut to me. Never used this mod before, but I'm looking forward to it. Good defensive Pokemon and get spikes, so we'll see. It's not my type of Pokemon, but I'll see how it goes. I'm not like super confident yet, but it looks like a cool Pokemon. And then the rest of the team, like I could probably use like one more mid-speed tier, but other than that, I think this team is pretty complete, and I like it a lot.
I think this is probably the most complete in the league. I'm going to explain a little bit because Mystery did say draft odds. So we do our draft in NCL, just to give you guys a little explanation, just like we started it this season, it's new. We kind of do it like a basketball draft lottery to where, like let's say Mystery, it's not going to happen, but let's say Mystery goes 1-10 in the season, right? And then he's like the worst team in the league. He would have the number 1 odds at the number 1 pick next year. And it kind of goes down from that and basically goes off of rankings and how far you made it into the playoffs regardless of record, that kind of thing. So like last year Will was our NCL season 1 champion, so he had the least odds at getting the number 1 pick, with Mystery following just because Mystery was in finals with him. So kind of crazy that Mystery did get the number 1 pick. It was rigged.
Very, very lucky, and I've never had the number 1 pick before. And then when I have the odds stacked against me is the time I get it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But
really cool. But to more talk about the team, Mystery did say I did suggest Chestnut with this team. He already kind of had pieces around it, and I suggested Chestnut Cobalion because they work really well together in the fact that they're both fighting types, but they don't share any of the same weaknesses other than fire, which he has Tapu Fini, Rotom Heat. Greninja can soak up maybe 1. Lando is soaking up 1. Noivern can soak up at least 1. I love Chestnut because it gives him Leech Seeds as well as Spikes. He didn't really talk about Leech Seed, but Leech Seed goes great with Necrozma. It goes great with Mega Mawile. Even bulky setup Rotom Heat. if you want. And what I really love is the fact of how versatile these mons are. Every single one of them can run a defensive, except for like maybe Greninja and Noivern, can run a defensive version and an offensive variant, which I love. That's so cool because you can never really tell what Mystery's bringing offensively and what he's not. More than likely, you'll see Mega Mawile being offensive, Lando T maybe because it's Mystery. But
True.
I love this team. I think it's really complete. I honestly, your speed tiers to me are not bad at all. You have Greninja Noivern over the top really fast, Lando T Cobalion in that mid range, following that up with Rotom Heat in that kind of lower mid range. I guess maybe you could use another one that's like 100 to like 90 to 100.
That's what I was thinking was a 100 base speed would be nice. But it's not a huge deal. You know,
Honestly, with
it's just
team,
something I'm looking into.
Crazy great bulk that you have with your offense, I don't think it matters, especially with Lando T, of course, Intimidate, it spreads that around. Hazards are going to be spread around amazingly. Things are getting chipped for Mawile. He has amazing pivots into Mawile, into Finny, Leech Seed into Finny, of course, with lefties. Who needs recovery? That kind of stuff. So I really, really like this team. We're going to move on, but I would say probably the best team in the league as of right now. We're going to move on. That. I'm going to skip mine. So this is mine right here, guys. I'm going to skip that and come back that to the end so I can go over it a little bit more because we're going to kind of go through these pretty fast, like I said. So we're moving on to Chris's team. He is a new coach in the NCL. He is the Amsterdam Altaria, and he's running Dragapult, Rotom Wash, Infernape, Jirachi, Togekiss, Donphan, Drapion, Lycanroc, Dusk, Mega Pinsir, Type Null, and Altaria. So if you guys don't know, Chris, if you watch any of other videos, I hope you do if you're watching this one, I do Soul Link with Chris. He's my best friend, and he's brand new to competitive. He plays Nuzlocke. He's pretty good at them. He's like that. He's one of the luckiest people ever. I will tell you that.
Very true.
His luck is, I don't know why it is in games, but he was new, so he asked for my help, and to give you guys a little thing, I put all of my time and energy into this team, and it is my child. And he has shown already week 1 versus Steph. He's still new, so of course there was little hiccups, that kind of new nerves kind of stuff, but he played it extremely well, and it shows that even being new with a good team around him, he can show that he can perform, and hopefully we have a new contender here in NCL as well. To talk about a little about the team, I love it. I helped draft it. We couldn't believe Dragapult. So Chris was the 5th pick, and Dragapult fell all the way to him, and he was so happy, and I was so happy. So Dragapult makes almost any kind of team complete and competitive just because how busted this mon is, and you surround that with Rotom Wash, bulky Togekiss, Jirachi, Donphan, that type Null, Drapion can be a defensive pivot, and then you surround that with also offense and Infernape. Rotom Wash can be offensive as we saw in the first week. Jirachi, Togekiss can both run Scarf pretty easily. Jirachi can also be offensive, and then Lycanroc does make a Pinsir. And then don't forget the always scary Drapion as well. That can run both offensive or defensive kind of pivot. It's mainly utility, but I really like that as a pick. It soaks up Toxic Spikes, gives them Toxic Spikes. It's defensive core in the Flinch Boys, Jirachi, Togekiss.
Yeah, fuck that.
Which also just add great typings to this team and work really, really well together. His hazard removal with Rotom Wash, Togekiss, Donphan, Altaria is amazing. Technically, Mega Pinsir gets it, but we're not counting that. And then just the setup.
Does Pinsir get defog?
I'm pretty sure Pinsir does get defog.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Regular Pinsir gets defog. It's weird. I know Mega does. But
well, then they both would.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I always forget that Megas are the same exact. Whatever.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Sorry, guys. My cat is digging in a bag of other bags right now. So.
Here, then I'll take it for a little bit here. I'm a big fan of this team. I know Tristan was as well, who did the power rankings. He had this, I believe, as the second best team behind mine, so that was really cool. I think this team is very good for our first ever draft league. Like having Dragapult, Infernape, Jirachi as like 3 of the most versatile Pokemon in draft league, and then surrounding that with Rotom Wash, Lycanroc, Dusk, who it's like a truck, cool defensive mons like Togekiss, Donphan, Type Null even is really annoying. And then like Mega Pinsir, I've tried to use and I'm not a huge fan of it, but I actually don't mind it on this team. I think the hazard removal isn't like amazing, but it's definitely good enough. And I'm a really big fan of this team. I think it kind of plays itself to an extent with a lot of U-turn and momentum, but it's overall really solid. So that's all I gotta
I
say.
have one more thing to say before we move on from this team. Talking about Mega Pinsir, so explaining this kind of pick, all of his defog slash or hazard removal options all can run offensive variants with defog or rapid spin on them, which I love. It's really cool because they all don't care about using that move slot. Like Rotom is the only one that might want to run maybe like Toxic 1 week or Pain Split or something like that. But I mean, you do have Wish Core from Jirachi Togekiss as well.
Rotom's a really good defogger though, so I don't think that's a huge issue.
It's just the thing is, none of them mind. Like even all their offensive, like any kind of variant, you can run Bulky Rotom, Pivot Rotom, Offensive Rotom. It doesn't mind running defog on any of them. So Donphan never cares about running Rapid Spin. That's almost like an automatic slot. You always put it in. Togekiss does not care about running defog, even on Scarf. So, and then Altaria is a good defogger if it has a niche game that it wants to come to. So I think Mega Pinsir, it has so many opportunities with such great U-turn mons to set up and get in when it needs to, that I think it fits amazingly on this team. And it gives him, of course, that Accel Rock, Mach Punch, Quick Attack combo that just is going to tear people apart. But yeah, basically that. Let's move on to the Tip City Time Lords. I'm sad because the last 2 times we actually did have Tristan here to talk about his team, and he did a really good job talking about his thought process and stuff. Unfortunately, he can't join us today because of outside things, so we're gonna have to do him justice and talk about his team a little bit. I'll let Mystery go ahead, as they're pretty good friends. We're all really good friends, but Mystery can
I've known Tristan for a long time. This looks like a Tristan wet dream. Mega Scizor, Mandibuzz, Cinderace, Primarina, Serena, Kyurem, Slowking, Galar, Lean King, Rhyperior, Thundee, Mienshao, and then the always present Blossom. This team is like very, very defensive, great pivots into cool offense in Cinderace, Thundee, Mienshao, Kyurem. This looks extremely like a Tristan team, and I think this is one of the better teams he's ever drafted. I will say that only having Rhyperior as your rocker is kind of bad, but
oh wow, I didn't even notice it before.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. His hazard setup game is not very good, but his hazard removal game is fine because he has Scizor, Mandibuzz, Serena, Cinderace can throw the bitches back, and Thundurus can get rid of him, so it's not terrible. And also, I think Kyurem
Kyurem get defog?
It might, but I actually don't think so. Either way,
its wings can't move, so probably not.
He just kind of flaps his hands around.
Chicken head.
Yeah, setting up hazard will be a little tough.
Just a second, I'm gonna kick my cat out of my room.
Yeah, you're good. So he definitely prioritized defensive pivots into offense, and this team's momentum is really good overall. I can't see many matches where, unless he starts off really, really poorly, there's going to be a lot of matches where he has momentum for a majority of the game, and it's just going to be how people play around that and, grab momentum back. It's going to be very read heavy.
I love this team. I don't know, I just kind of had to kick my cat out. I'm sorry, guys, for seeing that. He was messing with everything in my room when I tried to do something, of course. But, I really love this team a lot. I think the bulk pivots really well with each other. It's just disgusting bulk with Cinderace, Mega Scizor, Mienshao, Thundee, and then Kyurem thrown in there as well. I just love versatility in this mod. This team really exemplifies that. I think I remember what Mystery had said before. I kind of missed it there, but I think I agree with him with a lot of what he was saying before. With matchup dependency and stuff like that, he might struggle to kill some things.
I hadn't gotten to that yet, but I did want to say that as well. Matchups where Cinderace is the only good offensive Pokemon here, let's say theoretically Kyurem, Thundee, Mienshao have bad matchup, and Cinderace is going to be kind of dependent on a little bit more, maybe Calm Mind Primarina, but there could be weeks where Cinderace is going to be asked to do a lot, and I just think that Tristan will need to be up to the task and how to do that.
But I feel like at the same point, he has enough bulk where he can afford to run Mega Scizor offensively if he needs to.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well. I can agree with that.
I can also agree, but exactly what you're saying. I can see Cinderace having to come a lot more than maybe it wants to, but also Cinderace is one of the mon that don't mind coming to 9 games. So.
Oh, absolutely not. I love that Pokemon, and I just, I'm very afraid. If this mon's, like I said before, if this mon's in the MVP discussion, this team will probably be a top 2, 3-ish seed. If it's not, he could be still around the 3 seed, but I think it'd be a slightly lower potential seed. Just if he needs offense and it's not there. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and I'd be totally fine with that. But we'll
And
see.
I
If
think
Spinner can
too,
carry the
we
load,
need
then he'll be
to.
fine.
I think Tristan is a lot like me. We were kind of talking about it, me and him before, where he needs a little bit of time to warm up with his team to start building with it and feeling better. He's been building a lot for Taylor. I can tell you that. I don't know all of his sets, of course. I can't spoil anything for that big game coming out week 1, but I know that he needs a little time to really build with his team, find the synergy, find what Mons like to work together. Things like that. But I think if we start to see that, if he starts to come together, especially, I think if he starts to come together like week 3 against you, Mystery, and week 4 against Slink, if he starts to show that he's pulling it together and like pulling a couple wins out, because he has a like really rough week 1.
Yeah, that's a brutal opening for Taylor, Will, me, and Slink. That's pretty tough. And then it kind of
goes downhill with a little bit of coaches that are not distinguished in the league yet, with Buxton, Steph.
But like Buxton has high potential. I think Steph has a chance to make a comeback. Monster is, as we'll get to later, very interesting team. So you never really know.
Chris has a great team, but again, new. So we might see a little bit. I think that's the
that week 9 game that was interesting. I'll say that.
He has to make the comeback. Come at me, Tristan. I'm 1-0 right now. But
True.
We'll see where it comes. Actually, we're 1-1. I'm stupid. I forgot about the Zapdos sweep. That I should be 2-0.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you should be 2-0, but shit happens.
I'm excited for that game. I think that'll be a really good game for me and Tristan. My team's ass though, so if he wins, don't
hold it against you. Yeah.
Me, please. But we're gonna move on to a very controversial team between us mods in NCL. We love him to death. It's our season 1 NCL champion, Will.
Pain.
Scoot Squill himself with the Miami hit. I can't talk. Excadrill, Clefable, Mew, Toxapex, Corviknight, Gigalith, Dracozolt, Weavile, Vanilluxe, Stoutland, and Vespiquen. So we're going to go pretty fast, so I'm just going to dive right in Mystery. He originally had Hippowdon on this team, and he dropped it, and Latias. He had Latias Hippowdon on this team originally, and he dropped it to get Mew, which is a really high point, versatile mon, of course, one of the best in league. But me, Mystery, and a couple of others in the mod team, well, there's only 2 others, but a few others around the league, agree that while Mew makes this team scarier offensively, it definitely went downhill defensively. And it definitely went downhill in the terms of sand for Excadrill, because we're just going to be honest, on this team, Gigalith ain't it. Hippowdon just fit so much better. I'll let Mystery talk about it, because he's really opinionated about Hippowdon.
I love Hippowdon. That's one of my favorite defense Pokemon. I don't run stall, so I do know what stall runs though. I've played on the ladder enough to know. But Hippowdon's always great, and Gigalith is such a step down. I understand that Drill is still here, and he has Dracozolt for another electric immunity if he goes Volt Absorb. I don't care. This team is a little bit worse, just a little bit, because Mew is such a good mon that it can make up for it. But this team's a little bit worse. Very reliant on Corviknight to get rid of hazards, because Drill probably won't want to run it most weeks. And then and he could have Mew, but I don't know. We need to see at least 2 good weeks out of Will before I make any bold claim, because his opening schedule is also very tough. Slink, Tristan, James, all in a row. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the sand stall type of team, like defensive balance. So maybe that's just a little bit of bias, but I do think this team will struggle a little bit out the gate.
The biggest thing we had talked about too that Mystery just didn't mention right now is this team, weirdly enough, for being sand stall, is really weak to its own ground types.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even Corviknight, which is his mon off the ground, if it roosts or anything like this, we kind of talked about it before, he's taking a super effective ground hit. If he gets smackdown or gravitied or something to where that flying type is maybe neutralized, like I said with Roost,
things with earthquake coverage,
exactly, and he's just it's a coverage, which is a lot of mons in the game, not Entei.
Like Nidoqueen switches do not exist on this team. It is like Spit F Mew.
I didn't even notice this before when we talked about it the first couple times, Mystery, but even his bulky water type is weak to ground. So
yeah, exactly.
It's what makes it so rough for him. He does have a Weavile and a Vanilluxe, which you go, oh, okay, ground stuff, but anything with ground coverage, like Mystery just said, causes a problem for this team. And then Weavile and Vanilluxe are not swapping it. Like have to get a free swap in, and at that point you're sacrificing probably a crucial mon. And for Weavile and Vanillux, you have to sacrifice a spot on your team for a really top-heavy 6 team with niche Dracozolt Weavile wanting to come. I love Weavile, but on this team, Weavile feels like it doesn't want to come a whole lot.
He just wanted speed. Like, he wanted natural speed, and that was like the mon that he saw. He's like, okay, cool. I'll just take this one.
It's just, I don't like Weavile on sand because I'm a big, I don't like running boots, and it just feels like Weavile's forced to run boots on this team a lot. I personally love Focus Sash sets. I love Choice Banded sets. I love doing different things. Maybe even King's Rock. That's really cool with Triple Axle. But it just feels like you're whittling away at your own Weavile's health, especially if you go like a Life Orb Weavile 1 week if you want to swap up moves.
Yeah, that could definitely be tough.
And I'm just telling you guys right now, as much as me and Mystery love our Wise Glasses and Expert Belt and stuff like that, Life Orb just gives you kind of a different damage output, and when you're whittling yourself away, plus that sand, it doesn't last for very long, especially for times when you can't get rid of rocks immediately, because like you don't want to waste Excadrill. Corviknight doesn't have a chance to come in, maybe Mew isn't defogged, and now Weavile has to try and come out on those rocks, and it's just, its longevity is definitely shortened. So that's the biggest thing with that. We're not going to spend too much time. It's Stall Sand with Mew. AIDS, but we definitely, I think that Will can make a couple of transactions, maybe get Hippo back or go for Tyranitar to get a little bit better dark resistance, something like that. I think Will figure it out. But we're not going to spend too much time. It's Sandstall. Fuck you, Will. We love you. But moving on to the Los Angeles Low Bunnies, and I just did the team builder with him. I hopefully do more with him later on. I love him. He's part of our new mod team, Slink, and he drafted another AIDS team, so I hate him a little bit for that, but it's cool. I really like this team. It's Mega Gallade, Aegis / Arcanine, Gliscor, Milotic, Galar Weezing, Thunder T, Zarude, Selgor, Slacking, and Totodile. So before we say anything about this, I'm not sure if this is 100% correct, but I heard a little bird say, Mystery, that we could see some of those lower tier mons going for some different transactions later on.
Yeah, I mean, on the transaction rumor mill, I have, a little birdie also told me, little birdie being Twitter, make sure you follow me, Mystery was taken 3 instead of the E. I do think,
guys, I'm sorry. It's not possible.
I do think he could, I think he could get a little bit better than a Selgor, maybe. Like, I know he's a big fan of Slacking. So he's going to have to decide whether or not that's his mon that he wants to keep here.
Both of those might go. I don't want to push that out there, but
he can only use the Selgor's points plus 1 from Slacking, though, because he'll have to get a 3, and Slacking, I believe, is 4. So unless he finds something that's like a big upgrade, I'm not sure there's a whole lot there that really can be done. This team is almost complete anyway.
It's a lower tier thing that he's going to add that'll just help kind of defensively, but
okay,
we'll talk about that later. Big thing with this, me and Mystery kind of talked about it for the last 2 times. Arcanine is the glue to this team. As much as we have that amazing combo Milotic, Gliscor, Aegis Slash that fit all of their weaknesses together and are just annoying as aids.
Other than Dark,
which he has a Wheezing Galar, so, and a
True.
Zarude. So it's just defensively, all these mons fit so well. But Arcanine, I think, is going to be coming. You're going to see it probably 9 to 10 games, if not all of them. Arcanine just is a great Willow absorber. He's great for sucking up status, stuff like that. He can heal himself. He's a good sneaky offensive where he can be bulky, but Flare Blitz still does a lot. He gets priority with extreme speed. He can teleport. Mystery's really big on teleport Arcanine. It's a really good set. Just things like
I think just Boots made Arcanine infinitely better, and
it definitely did.
Yeah, I just think this mon's going to be huge for him going forward. Pivoting into Thunder T and Gallade late in games, or spreading Intimidate.
Intimidate's big, I think, especially for that Gallade.
Yeah, being able to set up and then teleport into Gallade could be absolutely massive. So I think how he plays the Arcanine will be very, very key on his season. If this mon is like 2 and 6, he probably is like 6 and 5. Or we have 10 games or 11? Yeah, 6 and 5. If he's like a solid 7 and 3, this is probably like a 7 and 4, 8 and 3 type of team. So I'm looking forward to it. I think Slink's definitely a good enough battler to pull it off, and I'm just looking forward to how he plays it.
I think he definitely needs to play Ray. I'm going to say 2 more things before we get on. One more thing about Arcanine. I think that you guys heard Mystery say that 2 differentials, and to you guys, maybe it doesn't sound like a big gap. They're like, oh, what's the difference between 6 and 5 and 7? And like, I'm going to even say 7 and 4. It can go that. That's a huge difference, especially for a Gloomon on this team. Any kind of positive differential, this team's going to be successful, in my eyes. I think Mystery agrees in that aspect. This Mon just needs to be there and needs to soak up damage and needs to deal.
Well, he took it in the 3rd round. This Mon needs to be good for him. You know, I understand he did get like good Mons later in Gliscor, Milotic, Thundy T, like Mons that normally go a little bit earlier. It doesn't matter. Like, he spent a 3rd round pick on it. This Mon needs to be good. That's sure. All I'm gonna say. It's a big part of your team.
100%. And then one more thing before we move on to Rain. This Mega Gallade, it's going to be offensively. Tristan talked about a lot about Thundy T in the last episode. Kind of quick overview. Thundy T is going to be a really good offensive bot on this, sneakily, even though you do see that Mega Gallade. But kind of exactly what Mystery just said. He spent his #1 pick on Mega Gallade, which is a great #1 pick. Don't get me wrong. I love this Mon. I made it to finals with it. This Mon's going to have to do a lot for this team to win. This Mon is going to have to get its 4 moves almost perfect every single week to start offensively doing damage. These Mons love to whittle you down, love to outlast you and stuff like that, and let Mega Gallade, Zarude, Thundy T in. But Mega Gallade's going to need to get some sweeps. He's going to need to get some late game kills, stuff like that. I just think that the way Slink plays Mega Gallade and Arcanine is really going to determine his season.
I agree completely.
All right, so we're going to move on to the Cincinnati Bengalidarian Darmanitans. We have quite a few new members for NCL. I'm really excited. And we have our 2nd weather team, but our first kind of full weather team, if that makes sense. We just have full rain.
Pretty much, yeah.
Buxton went all out. We have full rain. Running Zapdos, Ferrothorn, Volcarona, Pelipper, Kingdra, Nidoking, the always ever rain present Mega Swampert, Sylveon, Bisharp, Meowstic M, and Ice Cube. So basically the first thing you guys probably see is why is a Volcarona here? It's mainly for Hurricane and Volcarona. To give you a quick overview, it's a good enough Mon to where it can still function in rain. It doesn't need to be in it. It doesn't need to be out of it. It just functions fine within it. Yes, its fire stab is resisted, but most of the time you can run Psychic, you can run Bug Buzz, Fire Move, whatever. Hurricane. Me and Mystery and Tristan kind of talked about it. Hurricane is very niche in the fact that usually you want to hit whatever you're hitting with it with a different move. So that's why it's kind of weird in this. So maybe he drops it, goes and gets Buxton. If you want to go get Latias is still on the board, it fits great. I think that's a great fit with this range.
Yeah, I still think Latias dropping Volcarona and Meowstic. What was it?
It's Kingdra.
Kingdra. Yeah, dropping Kingdra and Volcarona, getting Latias and like a lower tier rain sweeper like Kabutops or Ludicolo, I think would be really, really cool on this team.
Somebody there as well too, which I would suggest a Bisharp, but that'd be really cool. Zapdos, of course, is even I know you guys see the Mega Swampert and scared rain Mega Swampert, but that Zapdos is going to be the main function on this team. You're landing your Hurricanes 100% of the time. Zapdos is just, you get to run Thunder on it. You can run it's just such a versatile Mon and is so good in rain. So I think the same thing with Slink, how Buxton plays that Zapdos is going to be the biggest thing. And then I love Nidoking on this team. I think it's cool. Gives you a cool Scarfer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then Bisharp's weird. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it because I understand it, but I don't necessarily like it. I think you could upgrade it, but it's just rain. We're not going to spend too much time. Mystery kind of talked about Volcarona. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think, yeah, like you said, it's rain. Nidoking's a cool fit. And then maybe make that move I suggested. And other than that, it's a cool team. Just, it's rain.
Move we suggested, Mystery.
We, yes, not me. There is no me and we.
Okay. We're moving on to the Terraform Terra is another new team, monster, that are joining us this year. And he has probably one of the most, I want to say, interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, if you want to call it that.
Monster went to the notorious Full Trick Room team, and which is not known to be great in singles, but he really wanted to try it. And that's kind of like what he loves, is really slow, bulky, hard-hitting Mons. It's Monster's MO. He has been since he's played Pokemon. So he decided, well, what if I go Trick Room? I think that's really cool. Kind of fits with his playstyle. Biggest thing I'm gonna say here is there's so much repetitivity in my head.
Yep.
There's a lot of mons that do the same thing. Dhelmise, Rillaboom don't need to be there together. I think you can even go to the fact that Glacier, Melmetal, Conkeldurr all kind of do the same. They hit differently. They do typing wise, but I
don't think you need 2 of them though. I don't think you need all 3.
I don't think all, like, 2 is like, okay, that's fine. All 3 seems a little bit much. You have 3 Trick Room setters in Slowbro, Porygon 2, and Hatterene, which is really cool.
Especially those first 2 are really good. I'm glad he got those 2 because Teleport, Porygon 2 with Trick Room is fucking great. So yeah, good job on that.
And then Mega Camerupt, that's his Mega, which I really like because it's a really hard-hitting Mega. That thing, people don't think about it because just how slow and not great its defenses are with its typing. Being quad weak to water, which is a really common typing, but Trick Room with it doesn't actually have as many swap-ins as you think, especially if it does get into Trick Room. So I'd like to see how he does with it. I really like the Rillaboom pick, which gives him a little bit of a fast, weird Trick Room. It still gets Grassy Glide, so you can do stuff with that. Conkeldurr is sneaky fast, if that makes sense, because of Mach Punch. I don't like Dhelmise at all on this team. I think it needs to get rid of. And then he really wanted to use Glacier, so that's cool. I think that I don't know who you'd get rid of because I feel bad because I feel like Glacier is the one, but he wants to use.
I mean, yeah, if you want to just try Glacier, then that's fine. I'm not gonna, shit on you. I do think that's the one that goes though. If you're making team changes, like say you're on the cusp of a playoff push, but you think you still need that one more piece, I think Glacier is the one that goes.
And if you're gonna go full Trick Room, I say just get rid of Dhelmise and pick up somebody else that just fits a little better. And then this team is like Trick Room.
Cool. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's Trick Room, so there's not really a whole lot we can say. He has to just be good with it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to be talented and be good at Trick Room to have success with it in singles.
You have to be talented. You have to, exactly what Mystery said, and you have to work your matchup. You have to let Trick Room play itself. Don't try and get gimmicky with this team. You need, I mean, you might have bad matchups where you need to play, like, outbuild your opponent, but it feels like you might need to outbuild your opponent every week. So yeah, definitely just, I think Monster, you need to put some time into this if you want it to be successful. It's really up to you. So we're going to move on. There's not much to talk about. It's just Trick Room. To the Hell Summon Clefable, a really heated team in the league. Aaron, he's joining us for this year as well. And it's a really scary offensive team. We have Zygarde 50%, Spectrier, Heatran, Cresselia, Mega Lopunny, Tapu Koko, Mantine, Scyther, Darmanitan, Galar, Skuntank, and Lairon. I'll let Mystery take the reins for this one.
Yeah, so I play him week 1. I believe we're playing Sunday. This team is kind of cool. Cresselia, Heatran is and Mantine especially, very good defensive core. They work together really well. He has crazy top end speed in Spectre, Lopunny, and Koko. Really good Scarfer and Darmanitan. And then there's 3 Pokemon that I just don't like on this team, and one of them is your Dark type. And I have very quickly changed my perspective on the Dark type because losing to Setup Mew will change your mind on that. I think 2 of those mons could be combined at least into one good Dark type. Maybe dropping the Darm and getting a better Dark type, but I think that's the main issue I have right now. Is it feels like Heatran has to be defensive all the time, and your Dark type sucks. But your top end of everything else is very, very cool. Heatran, Zygarde work pretty well together. Your Willow switch-ins aren't great. It's kind of just Heatran, and then like get the Mantine play right if they don't have a lot of coverage or something. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, that's not too bad.
With Mystery and just the fact that I feel like this team loses to the Ghost Dark Psychic core.
Mm-hmm.
I think that core gives this team a lot of issues, just because that core is notorious known for pool coverage that they get. Ghost types, I think, go ham on this team. Ghost types with coverage go ham on this team, especially if one wants to run Scarf and it just outspeeds everything. I can really see Dark types if Mega Lopunny's, or like if Tapu Koko, Mega Lopunny, one of each doesn't have good matchup and doesn't come, and like one of those is your only Dark swap in, like Mr. kind of said, your Skuntank's never coming. I don't like that you don't really have a swap in at that point, especially if it gets whittled down
Yeah.
or has coverage. And then psychic types in general. And funnily enough, with you, Spectre, Heatran, Cresselia, psychic types kind of go ham on this as well. Mew, set up weakness policy Mew that Mystery knows all too well about, goes actual ham on this team. But I don't like the bottom four at all. I think Darm is a good hard hitter. I think it's repetitive. You have Mega Lopunny, you have Zygarde, Tapu Koko can run physical. I think you drop the last four and you pick up some defensive cores around it. A defensive Dark would be cool. A grass type would be cool. For this
low keys. So I was gonna say before you even said Dark, Zarude is like a cool fit on this team.
Slink does have Zarude, so he can't pick that up. But
yeah,
I do like Mystery suggestions. Zarude is a really cool fit on the team because it gives them both that dark grass combo that sucks up hits and still can do damage. It gives him still a good Scarfer. I think that though with that 4 slots that you can do, like especially Darm G being so many points, you definitely can work with it. In the fact if you get some mid tier, I really think a Dark needs to be here, like Mystery said. I personally would really like a grass here. You do have Cresselia and Mantine for Earthquake, stuff like that, but I would like a grass just to soak up those neutral hits if one of those can't come. It feels like you're playing matchups.
A great trade chip in Darm. Like, he could just go up to anybody and be like, hey, are you interested in Darmanitan? And people probably will be because that mon is really good.
Except for me, because look at his lips. Those make me nervous.
I mean, seems kind of racist. I don't know. I'm just saying. But
racist. It just looks like he gives a really powerful suck. But
I don't even know how to. Okay. Anyway, like he just need to go look at free agency, look in the trade market, see if anybody's willing to take on that mon, because I don't think you exactly need it. Like, it's not bad, but it's a little repetitive.
Like in the beginning, if you don't want to drop it right away, I understand. It's not a big deal. I'm just saying if you want to look towards, if you start finding, oh my god, I don't have an answer for these kind of things, that's when you can start looking for potential either trade partners or just complete free agency swaps. But on to the next team, a returning veteran who had a really disappointing season last year. We have Steph of the Madison Square Gardevoir. He went 0-11 last year. He didn't win a game. But
no, he got 2 forfeit wins actually. Fun fact.
Oh, fun fact. I'm sorry, Steph. You did not lose all your games. You got 2 forfeit wins. He didn't win a game in battle, but
yes.
With this team, it's a much improved team from what I think almost any Steph team that I've ever seen in the past.
I'm sorry, the triple psychic, triple fairy team was kind of fire, so I disagree.
Steph had a really rough day on the draft day, and he gave us the awesome notion of drafting triple psychic, triple fairy. I love you, Steph, but I will always tease you for it. This was hilarious shit ever.
That team was good.
It was really bad. Don't draft that. Excuse me. So I actually, Steph came to me and was like, hey, I have triple psychic, triple fairy, please help. And I was like, okay. And I put my mind to work, and this was my second child right after Chris's team. This team is really cool. It has its glaring weaknesses, that being in hazards as a whole, being really able to get rid of them and being able to set them is really big. But with limited supplies and free agency and stuff like that, we did the best we could. The bulk is annoying as fuck with Celesteela, Suicune, Nidoqueen, and then Dragonite filling in when it needs to, and even Superior, as we saw, can fill in defensively. The versatility is amazing. Leech Seed into Suicune, Leech Seed in Mega Guard, Nidoqueen, Terrakion, even Dragonite is really obnoxious. I think just Celesteela, Suicune, as we saw in the first game, is just going to be obnoxious core, and they need to chip things down for Mega Guard, Terrakion. That's what this team's basically about. And even Regieleki, if they can get rid of, because Celesteela, Suicune take care of the ground types that Regieleki doesn't like to deal with, so that kind of helps. And then he also has Superior there to take care of as well. Mystery's coming around on the OG Nidoqueen. She's here. She kills every team a little inside. But basically, yeah, I'll let Mystery talk a little bit. There's not a whole lot. This team is really it's just balanced. I'm looking at it, it's just balanced. So
yeah, no, I mean, he dropped Mew, which I think sucks, but I get that there was, you're trying to build around Gardevoir, and there's not a whole lot remaining, so I get it, but I don't know. Yeah, I think forcing Nidoqueen to be rocks more often than not really sucks. And then hazard removal, like Regieleki is gonna want to be here a lot. It's not great, but it's workable. It's definitely, as much as I joke, it definitely is better than the old team. And I'm hoping Steph can pull out a few wins this season. I definitely think he's capable, and this team's good enough to do it.
I think you are right with Nidoqueen having to be rock slot, but the thing is too, Mystery, what's so awesome about this Pokemon is that fourth move is usually always either T-Spikes or rocks. Almost on any set that it runs. I've almost never seen a Nidoqueen without hazards. It's kind of weird to see.
I'm gonna disagree especially on the ladder, and that is a different beast than Draft League.
On the ladder just because of common mons.
Sub also because Nidoqueen forces so many switches, and you don't have to then get the prediction right. You can just sub, and that's really cool for Nidoqueen and Nidoking especially. Like having that ability to just sub, and then you get to pretty much just kill something is, it's cool. So
I don't know. I do know Nidoqueen runs sub. I've heard about that lately. I'd like it a little bit less. I like it a lot on Nidoking. Of course, I've heard that. That's been a thing forever. I'm not a huge-ish fan of sub on Nidoqueen, but I can see it working. I understand what Mystery's saying, and I do think he's right. I do think that he's right in the fact that it's forced to be hazards, but what I was trying to say is it doesn't necessarily hinder it for running hazards more than maybe it wants to be a little bit more versatile, but with other bonds on this team that can do things that it wants to do, I think that Nidoqueen is going to be a really good filler mon. And then Regieleki usually never has any moves to run anyways, so you throw Rapid Spin, unless you want to run Screens or Explosion or something. But I think Hazard Removal is a little bit better than Hazard setting up, because he does have superior Dragonite Regieleki. But yeah, basically, Dragonite's forced to be defensive a lot, which sucks, but I like it. I think it's balanced. I think Steph, if he plays well and builds well, he can pull out a few games.
I agree.
I'm rooting for you, bud. So definitely prove us wrong, or not really prove us wrong, prove us right, and show that you can win a couple games here. And then we're moving on to one of our top-heavy teams in the United Arab Emirates Unknown, Taylor, who is our joining back. He lost round 1 of the playoffs, so he's out for vengeance this season. He showed it to all of us when drafted Naga, Cart, Dracovish all in a row, and then he followed that up with Moltres, Mega Aggron, Crocodile, and then filler ins with Galvantula, Vaporeon, Deoxys Defense, Cofagrigus, and the always ugly Crabominable.
Wow, always ugly. Okay. I mean, look, this team is like you said, it's resident top heavy. Naga, Cart, Dracovish, just picking mons that don't have switch-ins, and then drafting 2 of the Kartana switch-ins in Moltres and Aggron. Funny strategy. They can't wall you out if you have all the walls. I'm a big fan of this offense. Obviously, that's my forte, and this is very cool. I will say he definitely struggles to get rocks up if he has good lead mons, but none of Crook, I guess, is his best lead that has rocks, because Aggron doesn't, as much as Slink does it, is not a great lead. But Crook, I guess, is a decent lead. I don't know. I think Crook might have to be a little bit more defensive on this team, and I don't know how he's going to feel about that.
I can agree with that, but I mean, Crocodile is really cool in the fact that can run offensive Intimidate and still kind of be a defensive pivot that way. Deoxys Defense does get hazards, so there's that as well.
That's true, yeah.
Moltres is really good fit on this team.
But then hazard removal as well is just Moltres, and then also Cart, which you guys all hate, but I think is decent. So
we're not talking about default Cart.
Actually, let's talk about this again. Cart is a great defensive Pokemon, and people underrate this mon. All right, he has 131 base defense. That is good. Invest in it. This is the Zygarde check.
Until the Zygarde runs one special move and you're blown out of the water.
What do they run that special? What is the Draco Meteor? I'm pretty sure you live.
Low key, it probably does 80.
Yeah, and then you have lefties.
Please don't run defensive Cart, Taylor.
Cart is really good defensively. Taylor, look, you're very creative. I know you can do this. All right, please run this mod defensively at least once.
You have Mega Aggron, Moltres, Deoxys Defense, Cofagrigus, Vaporeon. You don't need to run this mod defensively. There's no reason.
Well, you do when you need defog.
You run it Scarf Defog, okay? I will give
No, that's pussy shit, bro. Run the boots or run the lefties and throw defog on that bitch.
If you do, I hope you lose, because you deserve it at that point.
That's not even a bad set. I literally walled out a Zygarde with that.
okay, cool. You walled out one Mon.
Yeah, a good Mon.
Resist both of its. You resist one of its.
No, you don't resist ground. Actually, it's neutral, but because its defense is so high, it did nothing. So,
okay, good job, Mystery. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You know what? You got one.
He's a steel that's not weak to ground. That's a good type. Fucking grass steel is a great typing.
Grass steel is a great typing, but use it offensively, please.
No, use it defensively.
I think definitely you need better hazard removal. Than
That's really the only flaw, though. It's a good team.
No, definitely the ugliest team in the league. Look at them. But it looks really awkward when you first look at it, but the more you look into it, the more synergistic they work together. I think it's gonna struggle though with how you're always gonna want to bring those top 3 because they have no swap-ins, and that kind of struggles because then you have to bring Moltres and Mega Aggron, and then you have to kind of throw in placeholders.
You have to play from ahead because this team playing from behind looks very terrible. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to our second to last team, the Southside Snorlaxatives with Smith, and he of course had to do it. We couldn't go one season without drafting Lucha Terrain, so here it is.
Can we get the resident sleepers in the chat?
Pain. Follows it up with Hydreigon, Registeel, Mega Beedrill, Torrentee, Miltank, Espeon, Lando Eye, Quilladin, and Magmortar. This team is just offensively the scariest thing in the world. He said let's go full mystery and go HO with Registeel, Miltank, so that's what we're
True.
With. So, I mean...
He needs Piloswine on this team, though.
I know, right? Piloswine would be great. We don't need Lando Eye. He has enough offense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Drop the Lando, get Piloswine. The future is now.
The future is now, old man. But there's not a whole lot to talk about this team. He has really great speed with Torrentee, Mega Beedrill, Hydreigon, Lando, with, of course, Lucha Terrain, and then Registeel can always be defensive, offensive with Iron Defense, Body Press. This team is just impossible to swap in on. Basically, you just have to outplay, make reads, or don't throw games. Fun fact. So, as much as cool as this team is, there's not really a lot to talk about it. It's just really good mons that work.
Very hyper offense, and he has to play from ahead as well because, like, James said before, Registeel, Miltank is really your only defense. Quilladin's almost never coming. Lando Eye kind of sucks defensively, and I don't know. Like, I love Registeel, and I'm a pretty big Miltank guy myself, but this team, I don't even know what to say, bro. Like, it's over in 20 turns. Either he gets, I guess his game versus James wasn't that short, but it's that type of team where it's guns a-blazing and hope to God you're the last one standing.
You have to make reads on this team. You have to. So if you're gonna win games, I love you to death, but I kind of gave you one week 1. Spoiler alert to our team battle. I gave you one week 1. I think you'll definitely need that one later on coming down the stretch, but you have to make reads. And I think you kind of getting used to this team, I think you need to make more reads against me than you did. What I really, 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 really hate is Torrentee is forced utility every single week. It needs to run Defog. Unless you throw Hydreigon Defog last move, then it just feels like Torrentee has to be Defog. And I really, really hate that. But it does its job well, and he still hits like a truck with Hurricane, even being pivot. So I hope you can make it work. But that'd be my only suggestion. Maybe drop one of your crazy offensive bonds and get a little bit more around it, because that's my preference for balanced offense. I think this team looks really good.
Also, drop the Espeon and go get Alakazam. Like that mon fits so well on this team compared to Espeon and Beedrill.
Lando Eye and you get Mega Alakazam and then get another.
No, it'd be dropping Beedrill, Espeon Beedrill for Alakazam.
Okay, I could see that.
And then drop the Lando for the Piloswine, and then you could upgrade like the Quilladin to a better grass type. There you go. That team's good.
You'd still need better hazard removal, but yeah, you could
True.
do something like that. But yeah, basically you kind of do what you want to do with it. But yeah, basically it. And then we're gonna
hold on, before we move on, real quick, I just want to say, okay, I'm circling the week 5 versus Taylor because that game's going to be at least, or at minimum,
4 turns.
At minimum, it's 6 turns, obviously, but at maximum, probably 10 turns. Everybody's dying every turn. So,
he has no swap-ins to Dracovish, and I'm pretty sure Taylor has no swap-ins to Lucha. So,
Whoever gets it first. I also want to say, would it be crazy? Okay, looking at the schedule, would it be crazy if Smith starts 6-0 because he has Buxton, Monster, Steph, Taylor, and Chris? The only one that I think is like very, very, very tough for him is the Taylor matchup. But again, it's HO versus
Rain is
HO.
really hard against him too.
That's true, but he also had Rain Torn, which is like fucking insane. So yeah, maybe he loses to Buxton.
So Torn is,
and then Monster is Trick Room, so then his offense is kind of neutralized. You know, okay, through 6 weeks, this is a ceiling of 6-0, and through 6 weeks, it's also a floor of like 1-5. So I really don't know what to expect this team. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's all I got.
Though, like, he has no answer for Rain Zapdos, but yeah, I'm just gonna go.
True.
I don't think a lot of teams do, but we're gonna go back, and then the last team on the list. My transactions did go in. Originally, I had Mega Medi, Grimmsnarl, Entei, Hitmontop, and Poli on this team. Read out the rest of my team, which is Garchomp. It's now Mega Houndoom, Gengar, Raikou, the new Diancie, Tangrowth, Silvally, new Torkoal, and Galar Zapdos, who is here. His sprite is here. He wasn't here last time we recorded this, so
yeah, I fixed it.
Cool. MysteryCD doing the work over here. Slowking and the always present Bibs.
Bibs. Love Bibs.
So Bibs also 6-0's mystery. Fun fact. So with this team, I was really, really focused. I kind of said this throughout the season, and I'm not trying to make it to like, I'm not trying to put myself, I definitely didn't draft well. I'm not trying to like lift myself up and be like, oh, I did other stuff, but I was really, really invested in Chris's team, and I was really, really invested in Steph's team, fixing that, and I kind of just orphaned my own team, which I feel bad because there are some really cool mons on this. I think it is a lot better than it was before. There are, of course, its glaring weaknesses like before, but I think it's a lot better. I'm really liking my mini Sun Core with Mega Houndoom Torkoal. Tangrowth can be a niche Sunmon when it can be sometimes. I'm really enjoying using Raikou, Gengar, Garchomp. I love it. It's awesome. I'm really excited to use
those three are fucking insane. I'll just keep it real. That's a really good core. I mean, I wouldn't call it a core, but offensive trio. It is wild.
That physical Raikou gonna come a couple games.
True, Banded Raikou is here.
Zapdos Galar, which is a really cool addition, and then I think people are gonna forget about Mega Houndoom a lot. Like, I know people think, oh, Sun Mega Houndoom, that's scary, but that mon is really cool. It's mid-tier for a reason. It can't hit everything, but I think what's really cool is the things that it can't hit, it's surrounded by things that can hit those things. So I think that it does fit a lot better than Mega Medi did before. I really like Tangrowth Slowking. That's my OG set. I actually haven't used Tangrowth a lot. I've used Slowking before. I love using Slowking. I actually like it better than Slowbro, fun fact, but I really like the regen core of Tangrowth Slowking. Leech Seed into Diancie Silvally is really nice. Teleport from Slowking is going to be really nice into Houndoom, Garchomp, Gengar, that kind of stuff. Basically, my thought process was I really wanted to use Garchomp, and I really wanted to use Gengar. And then I kind of saw Raikou. I love, Mystery can tell you my fast electrics. I always have to have one. The only non-fast electric that I'll ever consider using, I think, is Electros, because I like that mon. But I need my fast electric.
What do you consider Rotom? Is that a fast electric, or is that just not someone that you like to draft?
I like drafting Rotom Heat. I don't like drafting any of the other ones, if that makes sense. Heat is the only one I consider using because I love my fire types, and then I'll draft Rotom Heat for the fire typing. It's not really for the electric typing, it's just kind of added. But when I draft Rotom Heat, I'm drafting it for bulk in the fire typing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm really excited. Like I said it multiple times already, but I'm really, really excited to use Zapdos Galar as well. I think it fits cool on this team. Gives me another really hard-hitting physical attacker. I really like Silvally too. It gives me kind of that niche defogger that can fit in when it needs to. Other than that, my hazard removal is kind of booty, being Silvally Torkoal, which both are okay running it, and then Zapdos Galar can run it if it needs to. So it's not like terrible, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. My rockers being Diancie and Torkoal are not crazy great either, but it's just...
And Garchomp.
Oh, and Garchomp too. I like Garchomp as a rocker, so it's not terrible. Never mind. I thought it was a lot worse than it was. I didn't see Garchomp, which my best mon.
I think it forces Garchomp. This is my main criticism, is a lot of these mons are forced into certain roles. Diancie will not be here every week, and then that leaves it to either Torkoal, which loves its move slots. I mean, it doesn't mind rocks at all, but like rapid spin rocks, and then you have to like okay, do I want fire coverage? Do I want to run body press? Do I want, like there's just,
I want yawn
there's,
every week.
yeah, yawn, exactly. Do you want yawn? Do you want toxic? Like it does kind of get a little forward move syndrome when you force Torkoal to have rocks, or you have Garchomp with rocks, and then you limit what it can really do offensively. But
I mean, I think
your
Garchomp's
offense
really
outside
good
of that
too.
with Zapdos, Raikou, and Gengar is good, and then the Sun Core.
I don't have a Zapdos Gather. I was like, I don't have
Yeah.
a Zapdos. What the fuck? I forgot that. I keep forgetting. I said it 8 times, and I still keep forgetting it's here. I do agree. I think that a lot of Mons kind of like they're forced into roles they don't want to be, which sucks. But I think that kind of happens when you don't draft a cohesive team to begin with, and you kind of have to piece together. It's gonna be read heavy in the fact that I'll have to play it the way I want to play it. But you guys will see my team builders and stuff. I'm really enjoying using Garchomp, Gengar, Raikou a lot. I'm really excited to use my kind of filler in pieces. I'm really excited to use Mega Houndoom. But basically, you guys will see. Catch me in the next team builder and battle episodes. Maybe I can convince Mystery like the last week or something to help us build. We'll see. Take a lot of convincing there, but
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Maybe for maybe if you make finals when I'm not there or something. I don't know.
Gotta give the people what they want, Mystery.
Look, follow me on Twitter, and maybe I'll join one. How about that? All right, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Mystery was taken. The 3 in taken, or the E in taken, excuse me, is a 3.
Well, definitely,
go fuck
I am
yourself.
going to link Mystery in the comments for this video, so definitely go and give him a follow, no matter how much he promotes himself.
Yeah, follow me on YouTube. I make draft league breakdowns and other pretty shitty content, but sometimes I'm a little funny. And yeah, I think we're done here. So,
but yeah, definitely follow him, and then definitely catch up for my next team builder and battles. It's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited for that. It's a cool new project that I'm doing, and but we're gonna catch you guys later on the flip side. And thank you, MysteryCD, for being here. And
of course.
See you guys later. Bye.